over, start 3 days off, so I figured I'd come on live today just to see how everybody's doing. Let me turn this down a little bit so you don't hear the heat too much. But what you all think of The Rock's promo last night? I mean, it was great that he cooked Utah. I love the heel scenario, but it didn't really do much for me. It really, other than that, he tore him up and made you laugh a couple of times. It just made you think that the bloodline is going to be unstoppable. And people are already saying, oh, The Rock could possibly help Cody Rhodes, which that may be. But if he does, I just feel it's too short. The Rock needs to be in the bloodline for a long period of time before they can do something like that. Because, like The Rock has been saying, hey, Greg and John, what's up, buddy? Like The Rock has been saying, the bloodline is just beginning. And a lot of people are calling for The Rock to interfere some way to help Cody Rhodes win the title. Maybe it's possible, but I don't see them. I think that's too soon. You don't want to throw all your decks out in a row already. Let it space out. Is The Rock wrestling or what? I'm starting to think. The Rock said last night. One point that I did gather from all that is The Rock said that he's going to make sure that Roman retains the title. And the only way I could see that happening is if you look at the thumbnail, if he referees the match. That's the only way I could see Roman retaining. They got all the bloodline together, so Rock may referee, pretend to have his back turned, and you'll see all the outside interference. That's why Seth Rollins is throwing his hat in the mix, because Cody's going to be outnumbered like 5-1. So he's going to need some help. So Cody is going to lose again. I'm not sure, my friend, but it's WWE. This is The Rock. I don't know. I really can't tell you yes or no if Cody is going to actually finish his story at WrestleMania, but it's just hard to tell. My earlier prediction was, I was thinking maybe Rock is doing all this to get Roman to trust him, and then at WrestleMania he's going to turn on him to set up Brock versus Roman for WrestleMania next year in Vegas, which they very well could. This could be a match they could book a year out in advance. They haven't done that since Rock and Cena, so it's been a very long time. So I could see that being a very good possibility. But with Rock saying finally the bloodline and blah, 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 why would they end it like a month later? I don't really see WWE doing this. And Roman just got that title last year, so I honestly feel it may not happen. As much as we all want Cody to win, that's great. I wanted to finish his story just as much as each and every one of you. But I don't. Now I'm starting to think no. I'm starting to think Roman retains. They really have him so close to passing Hulk Hogan. I mean, he's only, 4 or 5 months away. I don't see him dropping the title right now. I really don't see him dropping the title anytime before SummerSlam. If he does, I'll be shocked. If he does, I will be shocked. Seth Rollins made a good, valid point. I think you're right, because Rock is involved with WWE now. I think next year is Rock versus Roman. And most likely Rock is going to want that for the title. People say, oh, Rock versus Roman. They don't need a championship. But they don't. But this is The Rock we're talking about. He's going to want one more run with the title. So he's going to make sure Roman has it. He's going to make sure Roman holds on to it. Everything's going to be good in the bloodline. And then, unfortunately, we're going to have that shoved down our throats for a while. Get used to it. Get used to it. But this made me think of something, even though I was told no. But I was thinking maybe The Rock could be Vince McMahon's last gasp to remove Triple H out of WWE, so he could regain control of creative somehow, or work carelessly through The Rock or something. It's Vince. He's going to find some way to stay involved with WWE, allegations or not. The man does not care. That's his company. He's going to do whatever the hell he wants to do. Even though he said, I'm resigned, Don't think he's not feeding them stuff through emails or things like that. Does The Rock have power than Triple H? Yes, Rock is actually in Vince's spot right now on the board of directors. So technically, he is Triple H's boss. I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. Now Dwayne is in charge of Triple H. Okay, that's interesting. So I think all those pieces are going to play an important factor. But as far as WrestleMania is concerned, a lot of people have already decided that The Rock is going to be the referee because there's pictures of it everywhere. There's already creators making pictures of Rock is going to be the referee for that match. That's what I was thinking when I gathered that promo, even though most of it was garbage. I mean, you could get mad at me. You could get mad at me and say, oh, it was funny. Yes, it was funny. The Rock is always funny. And I like that he's doing the Hollywood Rock gimmick. It's much better than the babyface Rock because that gets annoying. That really does. But why would you have someone of that stature claim the bloodline is one whole unit only for a month later for it to crumble? That doesn't make sense. I really don't see that happening. I think this is going to be a longer term story than a lot of people are thinking. But they could do it just to get the title off Roman, but I doubt it. A lot of people are saying he may go all the way. The Rock owns the football league too, so he is busy. Yes, the UFL and XFL have merged together. They are one, so they're going to have spring football every year from now on. How involved The Rock needs to be in with that, I don't know. But it seems he has a lot more time for wrestling right now. So if he is back at least more than an episode here, an episode there, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it as long as The Rock appears more regularly. Then it's going to be okay. Then not many people are going to complain. They're going to complain if this is the only time they see him between now and WrestleMania. Then it's going to be like, what's going on? Is he taking a break from movies? They had the strike for the writer strike, so I don't know if that's resolved yet. But I do see movies coming out. But maybe for The Rock, he does not have any projects right now, so that's why he came back to WWE. John Cena did the same thing. He had nothing going on, so what do? They come back. They got to keep making a paycheck. So they come back to Vince or whoever's in charge to get that payday. That's what they do when it's WrestleMania season. They're going to do that. But as far as that is concerned, that is my prediction. I really feel Rock is going to referee that match. Nobody seems to be siding with me on that, but that's just what I'm seeing because I did pay attention to what Rock was saying, despite calling the Utah inbreds. And Michael Jordan came in here and killed the dream when the Utah Jazz went all the way to the finals and MJ got in the way and all that good stuff. That was funny. I'm not saying that wasn't funny, but as far as the promo goes itself as a whole, Seth Rollins killed the Rock. I liked Rollins' promo way better than what we saw last night. I did. There was more meaning and urgency behind Rollins' promo than when I saw Rocky's promo. And I was just like, okay, whatever. I'd rather see Rollins be in there, to be honest. No Cena at Mania. Doesn't look like it. Looks like we're going to get a WrestleMania without John Cena this year. Or he would have been back by now, at least promoting something. And there's nothing in regards to the "You Can't See Me" John Cena. So if you're a fan of Cena, you're just gonna have to cheer R-Truth on when he does a little five knuckle shuffle and all that good stuff. But as far as Cena is concerned, I don't see any plans for John Cena, which is amazing in itself. It's like, wow, WrestleMania without Cena, no appearance, no nothing. I guess not. They really don't need him. They got enough problems right now. I really don't see where they could fit John Cena in anything. Seth is facing Drew. Yeah, I think that's where they're possibly going with that. Uh, Drew should be champion. This is his time. Seth needs to go get surgery. So I really feel that Drew McIntyre the way he's presenting himself, the way he's carrying himself, and the way he has you believing in him, he needs to have that title. Seth, I love Seth, but this run as champion, the whole fighting champion gimmick, I hate it. I don't want to see it anymore. So I really would like to see Drew get the title, and I think there's no shout of a doubt in my mind. Drew McIntyre is going to be champion at WrestleMania. They're pushing him to a point to where you're actually cheering for him, even though McIntyre is actually a heel. He deserves it. He keeps bringing up, listen to McIntyre, he keeps bringing up that he didn't win in front of anybody. He keeps bringing the pandemic up. They are doing that for a reason. They're doing that for a reason that they're probably going to give Drew the title at Mania so he can have his moment in front of fans. I heard a tag match with The Rock at Mania Day 1. I thought that's where they were going with it, but they might do that later on. Right now, I believe it's just going to be Cody and Roman and Rock as referee. And then they're going to have sets of Drew, probably night 1. The Rock. Roman and Cody will most likely be night 2. So that is my prediction on that. I may be going down there. I'm not sure. Philadelphia is not too far away, so I would like to do some meet and greets with some people down there, even if I can't get in the venue for WrestleMania. I would like to meet some of the people doing interviews down there. So that would be really cool. I may just do like the fan meetup. You still follow JD? Yes, I do. You will see me on almost all his streams. So we're still good buds. Everything's going good there. Thank you for asking. But in the other final news, Mercedes Mone, and you know, the IWC, where they're like, oh, it's so great, she's going to be in a Royal Rumble. Now she's trashed all of a sudden because they are finally getting in her head. The IWC is finally getting in their head that she will be at AEW March 13. They're calling it big business for a reason. And I think that means Mercedes Mone is going to debut. What she's going to do, I don't know. She did post on Twitter last night to Bailey, wait till you see what I'm fighting for next. So that means it's a title of some sorts, which will most likely be the AEW Women's Championship. If Tony gives that to her right away, great. But Tony Khan, I need to tell you one thing. You need to take care of Mercedes. Do not screw this up. If you screw this up, you got the biggest free agent out of the women's division of any promotion coming to your company. Do not screw up. If you give her nothing matches against jobbers and all that crap, people are going to get really pissed off. And no one else is going to want to even take a shot on you if you're not booking her correctly. So I hope you got plan A. I hope you got plan B. I hope you got plan C. I hope you have top contenders for her. And if you don't, and you start doing her like you're doing with Adam Copeland, having him wrestle all these young talents, it's like she doesn't need to do that. Put her in there with some good quality wrestlers like Chris Statlander. Put her in there with who else could go against Mercedes? That's really good. Maria Shafir. I don't care. Somebody of that caliber. Don't put her against Willow Nightingale, please. I do not want to see Mercedes Mone in like a Willow Nightingale, or God, who else do you have that's a jobber on there? Queen, whatever her name is. Do not do that. Yes, I did see Scott D'Amore was released. Yeah, and if you were wise, you would hire Scott D'Amore for something, Tony Khan. You really would. But please, for the love of God, make her your number one priority. Because if you don't, any other people from WWE that you're keeping an eye on in 2024, you think they're not going to be paying attention to what you're doing with her, you better believe they will. And if they see you're treating her like everybody else, pretty much everybody that went from WWE to AEW does not feel as important as they did. Why? Because you keep doing this, Tony. I love you to death, and the shows are good. But you keep doing it to where, look at Wardlow. What the fuck happened to Wardlow? Why the hell am I still seeing him in freaking jobber matches? Why? Do you think AEW is in trouble with CNC or stuck with the same rating? They're not in trouble. It's just they have their fan base, and he takes a step forward, and then sometimes he goes backwards. But it's more of he needs to start protecting the stars that he has and putting them in meaningful things. That's all he needs to do. Then maybe he would get a Drew McIntyre. Maybe he would get a Sami Zayn. Or maybe he would get a Kevin Owens. Maybe he would get a Sheamus. If he actually put the stars that came from WWE over there and protect them like he did with Sting the 3 years. There's not been one bad Sting match. Not one. Everything Sting has been in, I remember. I remember every single situation Sting has been in since he has been in AEW. As far as like in Adam Cole, I don't remember most of it. Why? Because you do this, Tony. You do this. And you can't do that with her. That is the point I'm trying to make to you. You cannot do that with her. And I will stress that to you on X. You don't have to like my replies. I know you do sometimes, but you don't have to like them. But I'm just trying to get you to understand how big a fan base she actually has and how many people in WWE actually look at what she's doing. And if they see you're doing the same thing as you did with Punk or anybody else that's come over there, they're just gonna be like, you know what? We're gonna stay with WWE. We're not even gonna bother. You can throw $5 million at them. You can throw $10 million at them. You might get one or two for that price, but you're not gonna get the top dogs that you want to actually be able to grow your television audience. You got to do better. No Collision tonight. Yeah, I did see No Collision tonight. So I'm actually kind of happy because that gives me a night off because I did do SmackDown and every other wrestling episode this week. So I'm kind of like, okay, good. No wrestling tonight. I can do whatever the hell I want. So, but I'm sure Greg and John, you probably agree with me. But Mercedes needs to be a priority. She cannot be treated like an enhancement talent. She can't. I do not want to see her with people I have no clue who the hell they are. I don't want to see her mingling with any Ring of Honor. None. No Ring of Honor talent, Tony, with Mercedes at all. If you do that, oh, you're going to have the IWC jumping down you. I am telling you. They are going to be paying attention because they're already saying you're going to fail. They're already claiming you're going to fail with her. So I hope you're already planning what she's doing the next couple of months. Not fly by the seat of your pants week by week. Is Ronda coming in? I have no clue about Ronda. But if you want a Ronda, she's going to be watching you too, Tony. She's going to be watching you also. And if you treat her like garbage, if you make her meaningless, Ronda won't even come close to your company. Don't even think about it. It's time that you start putting these people in something meaningful. And we love you. I'm not saying I don't think you're not trying. I know you're trying, Tony. I know you are. I know you're doing your absolute best. But I know you could do better. So that's a star you need to make sure is in something that the people can get behind. Or you know what? That rating you get the first night she comes in, maybe the week after or the week after that, the first 2 to 3 weeks, that's going to fall right back down. It's going to fall right back down if they see her against a Willow Nightingale. They're going to be like, I'm not watching it. Tony needs a new booker to help with ideas and structure. Scott D'Amore would be a perfect person for that. He knows what he's doing. I don't know why Anthem decided to get rid of him, but if he's clean, there's nothing wrong with him. He would be a great person to help Tony out. He really would. He knows how to get things done. He knows how to put people in high-profile matches. He knows he would have more time on his hands than Tony would to be able to say, all right, I'm going to have Mercedes at this pay-per-view wrestle a top person. I'm going to have her at this pay-per-view wrestle another top person. In between, we're going to do this to keep her meaningful. And if people start seeing that, you might see Dynamite get to 1 million viewers on a more frequent basis. That's why they keep going up and down. Because one week you have a phenomenal show booked, the next week it's like, what the hell are we doing? Then the following week you have Wardlow squash. God knows who. I don't know who the heck that was. Who Wardlow squashed? I had no clue. Like, who the fuck is this? And why are we doing this? Undisputed, is it Undisputed Era? Yeah, Undisputed Era has been a fail since they've been revealed. People are like, oh, Adam Cole's injured. Yeah, I get Adam Cole's injured, but he could have had somebody else step up into that role while he is injured. They have nobody really that can talk to gather your attention. They don't. That's why they just come out and do beatdowns, and it's just like boring. Really? This again? It's terrible. When Roddy got on the microphone, Roddy was perfect. Why not let him do it? At least you have somebody that can speak. If Adam Cole's just going to talk, nobody wants that. Let Roddy take over until he can come back and actually lead the group. So those are my thoughts on that. Again, Tony, I can't stress enough. Please protect Mercedes. 313 is a big day for you. You're going to have a lot of people watching. It may not seem it in the ratings, but a lot of people on X are going to be paying attention to that. You want your audience to grow. You're going to have to do good there and then follow up the next couple weeks. Don't just do, okay, I'm going to make 313 great. And then when 320 comes around, it's going to feel like Dynamite again. You got to start making some urgency with some of these shows. You really do. Because sometimes we don't know what direction you're going in. It's all over the place. And we don't know why you have Ring of Honor talent on AEW. They should be on their own show. If I watch Collision tonight and I see Ring of Honor, I'm just going to be like, oh, wait, Collision's not on. I don't have to worry about it. Never mind. But you know what I mean. Collision usually has the Ring of Honor talent. You watch Rampage. Stop. No. The last time I watched Rampage is when Punk was still employed by AEW. I have not watched Rampage since. There's been no importance for that show. All it is just an hour extra of Dynamite. Get rid of it, Tony. That's another thing. Get rid of Rampage. Please. Get rid of it. If you want to make Dynamite or Collisions, or do Collision 3 hours. Make that Saturday night main events used to be in WCW. Make Saturday 3 hours. Get rid of Collision. No one fucking cares about Collision. Rampage. See, Greg and John, you got me all confused. No one cares about Rampage, Tony. Get rid of it. Collision is fine, but get rid of Rampage. Focus more on Collision and Dynamite. If I watch Dynamite, I really don't need to watch anything else throughout the week. I really don't, but I do it to support you. Yeah, Rampage is useless. It is. How many people watch? How many? 300? 350? I don't think it's been over 400,000 in a very long time. I could be mistaken, but I don't think it has. Then I get yelled at by some diehard fans. Oh, Collision's numbers, Collision. Why do I fucking keep saying Collision? Rampage numbers are going up. Really? They went up from 250 to 275. Wow. Why the fuck would I care? Oh, but you got to watch all the shows if you're going to be an AEW fan. No, I don't. I don't have to watch all the shows. All I need is, I've been watching wrestling long enough to be able to tell just by maybe a segment or two what the hell is going on with the show. I don't need to sit there like you and have to watch every single little thing while you're cramming on freaking Twitter just to try to get a follow from somebody in a company. I don't need to do that. I look at it, I watch what I need to watch, and I'm like, okay, I know where this is going. I'm not interested, and I turn it off. That's how I watch. I do the same with WWE. If they're going in a direction I don't like, I don't watch it either. Because I'm not going to spend all that time consuming all that when it's not really leading to anything. That's just my take. You could think I'm not a great podcaster for not watching every single second. But if it's not important, what is the point? For years, I have put trust in WWE to do the right thing and to make things interesting. And every time they go forward, they go backwards. Is AEW going to be on a stream service? I think that's the plan eventually. I think that would do Tony Khan very good. If he could get on a streaming service, he could make these pay-per-views a lot cheaper. More people would buy it. Especially those that like to hate watch would be more interested in watching some of those pay-per-views if it was only $10 a month versus 50. So he would probably have a lot better numbers if he, as far as a television aspect, if he actually got a streaming service, which I think that is the plan, at least in the next year or two. And I believe they would land on HBO Max. Would be my guess. HBO Max would be the one they would go with. I don't see them going with anybody else because they may not see them as a profitable enough company to land on a Netflix or something that big. But HBO Max, they've already done business with them. I can see that that's where Tony is eventually heading. And that would only do wonders for AEW. That would only do wonders. Then they might actually get more eyes on the product because they can consume everything at a much more affordable price. Because $50, $60 a pop, I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. I'll do illegal streaming. I'm not afraid to say it. I'll do illegal streaming. I am not going to pay $50 to $60 to watch that. There's no way. There's much more important things in life that I could spend that money on for my family, and I'm not going to put it on a wrestling show. I'm not. So if they put on HBO Max, absolutely. I would pay for that every single month. I mean, what's $10? That's nothing. So cut out like some habits of yours that you don't really absolutely need. There, you got your $10 to support AEW and watch them on a streaming service. It's that simple. That's simple. So that's my take on where I think Tony's going with that. Mercedes Moné, please protect her, Tony. If you do happen to listen to this, I'm not yelling at you. I'm not saying you're doing a bad job. I'm just saying you need to put your focus really hard on her because, yeah, HBO Max, you need to really put your focus on her because you're going to have a lot more eyes watching you. I'm not saying Edge isn't a big star. He is. But Mercedes Moné has a very much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Much bigger fan base. I would say she has a much bigger fan base than Edge. Mercedes could bring some new views. Yes, she has millions of followers. Millions. And they may not all be on Twitter. Not everybody has an X account. But she already has like 2 or 3 million on there. And if you want to bring some of them over, Tony, if you want to bring some of them over to watch your product, put her in something interesting. Do not just put her in these random matches that nobody cares about. Please. If you want to start her off hot and put her right to the belt, you better have a good follow-up because usually when you put titles on people, they mean nothing. It's like, look at Orange Cassidy. Who gives a fuck? I don't care about his title. I really don't. He carries it around in a fucking backpack. Can you imagine what Roman Reigns thinks of him? Can you imagine? He probably would like, who the fuck is this guy carrying a title in a backpack? He probably thinks that's the most ridiculous thing he's ever seen in his life. I mean, seriously, it's just how you present yourself, and I'm not interested in somebody that carries a title around like that. I'm not. So that's what I mean. It's like when someone finally gets the title, it's like, they started out great. When Jericho had the title, everything looked good. They need to go back to that. You made Jericho feel important. Do the same with everybody else. Let us get behind them. That's all that we care about. Don't do the same thing you always do. And you might actually gain a couple 100,000 more on a more regular basis if you started making interesting television. Because you were doing great with Undisputed Era before they were unmasked, but then since they've been unmasked, no one cares. They're like, oh, I see who it is. We don't care. Why? Because a couple of them are from Ring of Honor, and nobody cares about Ring of Honor. Nobody. I like a couple people from there, but I don't care about it enough to watch it. I really don't. And that's where you kind of dropped the ball a little. You had Ring of Honor talent in that group, and you should have had two people that were bigger. What channel is Ring of Honor on now? Greg and John, I couldn't tell you. I have no clue what it's on. I don't know if it's on YouTube or some weird ass channel like Access TV or something like that. I don't know. But they just haven't got me into anything interesting enough to actually find out that information. Pretty much everything Ring of Honor, if you go on X, you could see it because they post it all. So why am I going to go out of my way to watch it when you're going to put all the videos of it right there for me to see for nothing? So that's another thing. That's telling me you don't have faith in nothing what you're doing over there. You're just giving it all away to us. So I'm not going to give a rat's ass about it. I'm not. And I'm sorry if that makes anybody mad that are diehard Ring of Honor fans. I'm not putting the brand down. I'm just saying it's not doing anything right now for me. So hopefully you take that what I said there and not, oh, he's just complaining to get clicks and views and blah, blah, blah. It's not. It's just I really don't see anything interesting enough going on there. So I went on a little longer than I normally do. So I hope you all enjoyed that. I just had a lot on my mind just for the last week of all this news, and I'm just like, I really hope Tony takes care of her, and I really hope she does well. I know she will do well. I just want to see her in something good, something we all can remember. Not like the WWE did to her when she finally got a title and lost it in like less than 30 days. That's not a memorable run. She deserves a memorable title run to finally be able to call herself a champion that people can remember. Not, oh, well, Mercedes got another title, so, yeah, she lost it 2 weeks later. Same thing, they do the same thing with her in AEW. Don't repeat it, Tony. Don't repeat it. Well, that's going to be it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. I'm getting out of here. I need to save my voice for TikTok later. Who should she feud with? Well, I guess she's going right after whoever, Tony Storm, I guess. Whoever wins that one between Tony Storm and Deonna Purrazzo. I think that was a big reason why Tony brought Deonna in, to be able to show that, hey, I got some good talent in my women's division. So maybe that's what enticed her to want to come over. So hopefully that's what they do. Who I think's gonna win? I think Deanna's gonna win. So I think we're gonna see Deanna. I can't remember right now. I can't think. Deonna Purrazzo versus Mercedes. I think would probably be the first bout, but we'll see. That's just my thought. But that's gonna be it for now, everybody. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your weekend. That's all the news that you need. You don't need to go anywhere else. Go enjoy your Saturday. Go enjoy your time with your family. I hope you enjoyed this. Greg and John, thank you so much for keeping the chat rolling. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm. The more they see people chatting, so I do appreciate it. And I love each and every one of you. Until next time, guys, I'll see you back next week sometime. Until then, lots of videos on the channel. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.